Thought we could just tax the rich. Need two forms of ID? What happens if I only have one?
You need two forms to sign up.
One from this side and one from this side.
It's so interesting because they want to tell us we don't need ID to vote, but we need two forms of ID to shovel, you know?
Can someone explain the math here? You need two forms of ID, a social security card, and printed photos just to pick up a shovel in New York? This is the most bizarre level of gatekeeping for manual labor I've ever seen.
Two Secret Service agents on the detail went to that area to investigate. They confronted a white male that was carrying a gas can and a shotgun. He was ordered to drop those two pieces of equipment that he had with him, at which time he put down the gas can, raised the shotgun to a shooting position. At that point in time, the deputy and the two Secret Service agents fired their weapons and neutralized the threat. He is deceased at the scene. I'll give you a picture of the shotgun and the gas can to have with you. So that's what we know now.
Look at the tension in this briefing. This wasn't just a trespasser. We're talking about a guy with a gas can and a shotgun inside the inner perimeter at 1:30 in the morning. It's wild how close this got. Pay attention to the officer's description of the suspect raising the weapon. That's the split second where everything changed. Most people don't realize that Mar-a-Lago is a fortress, yet someone managed to piggyback their way through the gate. It makes you wonder about the logistics of high-profile security and how a 21-year-old missing person from a different state ends up in a shootout with the Secret Service. It's a chilling reminder of how volatile the current political atmosphere has become. You can see the gravity of the situation on the faces of the investigators. They know this could have ended much differently if the response wasn't immediate.
Registration. It's about proving your citizenship with a passport. Not everyone has a passport. If you I don't know you know where your birth certificate is? I lost that at 7. I mean, I don't even know where to begin to get it back. So these guys are not screwing around. I mentioned the DOJ. I mentioned that we had to go to the Supreme Court. Talk about holding your breath. I've learned to hold my breath now. It used to be a minute, now it's 6 minutes. That just getting stronger and stronger, holding my breath. We were waiting. We didn't know how that decision would go.
Wait, did you catch that? The governor of California is casually claiming he hasn't seen his own birth certificate since he was 7 years old. Think about that for a second. As a high-ranking official, how do you even function or renew a passport without that? It feels like such a calculated line to dismiss the SAVE Act, but it comes off as totally out of touch for anyone who's had to wait in line at the DMV for 4 hours. He's essentially saying, I'm so disconnected from the paperwork of normal life that I don't even know where my basic identity documents are. It's an interesting tactic to use personal forgetfulness as a political argument against documentation requirements. Look at the way he frames it as madness. It's a classic move to make the opposing side's concerns seem irrational by pretending you can't even meet the basic standards yourself.
A storm coming today, and our mayor says that we need emergency snow shovelers.
If you'd like to sign up to be a paid snow shoveler, you can go to any DSNY garage from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow on Sunday.
I saw that the mayor said that we were supposed to report for duty between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. today for emergency snow shoveling.
Yeah, not yet.
Why?
It's not yet. I think the earliest that we can put you out there is 8 p.m. tonight.
It's $20 an hour.
I think it's actually higher now. I believe it's $30 an hour.
If I have a snowblower and I can do the work of 3 to 4 people, can I get paid more?
This woman's experience is the ultimate reality check for city policy. She literally showed up at 8 a.m. because the mayor told everyone to report for duty, only to be told the snow wasn't ready and her shovel was outdated. The irony is thick here. You've got people willing to volunteer or work for $30 an hour to help their community during a blizzard, but they're met with a mountain of bureaucracy. 2 forms of ID and printed photos from CVS for snow shoveling. It's fascinating because it highlights a massive contradiction in how the city views documentation. One day it's a barrier to voting, the next day it's a mandatory requirement to move some slush off a sidewalk. You can hear the frustration in her voice, and honestly, can you blame her? It's like the city wants the help, but is doing everything possible to make sure nobody actually qualifies to provide it.
You know, again, I do take issue with the characterization of individuals who are undocumented. And again, I would respectfully ask that, at least in my presence, that you refrain from that type of characterization. I will say this.
Well, that's a statutory term.
Well, you know, again, we've already had that conversation.
This exchange is a masterclass in linguistic gymnastics. The reporter uses a term that is literally found in federal law, illegal aliens, and the mayor shuts it down instantly. Notice how he doesn't answer the question about the slush funds or the lack of trust from the caucus. He pivots entirely to the characterization of the individuals. It's a powerful look at how language is being policed in real time at the highest levels of city government. He's basically saying that even if a term is legally accurate, it's not allowed in his presence because it doesn't fit the preferred narrative. It's a total shutdown of the conversation. If you can't even agree on the words used to describe a problem, you're never going to find a solution. It's a classic distraction technique that shifts the focus away from the budget concerns and onto a debate about labels.
There's been this controversy over the snow laborers and the sort of what some see as onerous need to have documentation. Can you just talk about if that's new and what you make of the controversy?
This is all long-standing. This is a long-standing program and long-standing requirements, and this is a way that New Yorkers get paid to shovel snow in assistance with the city's response to a winter storm event. Federal law requires that employers get authorization and documentation to pay people for their work. We are not allowed to just cut checks to individuals for their work. And these are the policies that we've had in place, but I understand that for many, it's the first time that they've ever heard of it.
This is the official side of the ID controversy. Zoran Mamdani is doubling down here, framing the ID requirement as a long-standing federal law issue. It's a very safe, clinical way to explain away the frustration we saw in the earlier clips. He's leaning hard on the idea that we are not allowed to just cut checks, which is technically true for any employer, but it totally ignores the optics. When you tell a city of millions that they don't need ID for one essential civic duty, but need a social security card for a temporary labor gig, the logic falls apart for the average person. He's trying to sound like the voice of reason, but he's completely missing the hypocrisy angle that's actually driving the backlash. It's the difference between following the letter of the law and understanding how that law feels to a guy just trying to make a few bucks during a storm.
To the point of affordability, inflation is down, wage growth is up, it's far outpacing inflation. Consumer sentiment is positive, small business consumer sentiment is positive as well. I mean, there are a lot of markers that seem to be moving in the right direction for the American people. I mean, gas prices down, grocery prices have slowed. Are those not positives?
Talk about a read the room moment. Hakeem Jeffries is listing off markers like wage growth and positive consumer sentiment. But if you ask anyone buying eggs or paying rent right now, they'll tell you a completely different story. It's that classic disconnect between economic data and the daily struggle. He's claiming gas prices are down and grocery prices have slowed, but slowed doesn't mean decreased. It just means they're getting expensive at a slightly slower rate. For most families, the damage is already done. It's bold to claim things are moving in the right direction when housing costs are at an all-time high. It feels like he's trying to manifest a recovery through talking points while ignoring the reality of the American wallet. So, is it about security or just more red tape? Let me know what you think about the ID requirements in the comments. Don't forget to hit follow for more deep dives into these viral moments.